How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another solo vid. It's been a little while again. I keep on saying this each and every solo vid. It seems to be a little while. Few and far between this season, but don't worry, people. As I keep saying, they're going to keep coming back more regular. I just need to slot it in properly and get my life around it a bit more. And we'll be back with a bit more regularity with these solo vids. Big up everyone in the chat already. I see a few comments about the late six. There is no six tonight, people. It's just me. It's just the one. The Big Six is back this Wednesday. And to be honest with you, if you go check out the Big Six channel, a couple of pieces of content dropped this weekend. Saturday, we dropped the top 6 centre-backs. Today, we dropped the top 6 full-backs. So there's enough Big Six content to go around as well, people. So go look out for that if you want to go see some Big Six stuff. And make sure you hit the like button, support the thing as always. Follow us on socials. Follow me on socials. It's all there. Let's catch up with the chat because it's been a little while, man. It's been a little while. I see a lot of familiar faces. You know, do I watch F1? I don't. I've never been into F1. I can't even lie to you. I'd know what's going on, but aside from that, it's not the sport for me. Yes, David, I see you there. Guna Vettel in the building. Mods, do your thing as always, people. Man said fresh home. Nothing to do with fresh home, my guy. I've been free a long time now. Arsenal getting top 4. I thought we discussed this already. Nah, because the last solo vid I done, the title and the aura of it, there was still, you know, the roundabout and the January transfer window, the lack of signings, the lack of ambition, I thought. I still think. But today's one's going to be more about giving credit to Mikel Arteta because off the back of the feelings I and others had in January, he's managed to settle the ship again. He's managed to put Arsenal in a position where we're favourites for top 4 at this moment in time. Now, top 4 is not the be-all and end-all. We all know this. But at the same time, if you've been following me a little while, you'd know I didn't think top 4 was a possibility this season. It's become a possibility now. As much as it's a possibility now, I think it's also becoming an expectation. For me, especially when you look at Tottenham and United, you've got to really say, let's get it this season because we don't know what next season holds. And obviously, no one wants to be back in the Europa League and no one wants to be juggling Premier League football with Europa League football. I say no one. I'm talking about Arsenal, Tottenham and United here. Obviously, West Ham are enjoying themselves over in the Europa League at the moment. So there are some teams that, you know, will enjoy that experience. But I think we didn't spend years in that competition and then 1 year out of all competitions to only go back into that competition. But we're going to get into it, people, anyway. Like I said, let me catch up with... I was going to catch up with the chat, and the chat just keeps going, people. 500 people here already. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. I didn't watch the UFC last night. I caught up with one of the fights, but the main fight, but I didn't watch the whole card, I'll be honest. What happened with Ozil's agent? Nothing. That'll be out this week, my guy. That'll be out this week. Obviously, the timing of it was, the timing of it wasn't the best, let's say. But yeah, it's going to come out this week. And to be honest with you, it's quite a good interview. It's quite I'll let you guys watch it and then you guys let me know on my channel. Talk to me about it. Come on, my brother. A long time, my guy. Solo show. Big up, my G. Long time. You and the family are good. Yeah, all good, man. 100% all good. Cannot complain. Obviously, that's what's taken me out of this, you know, consistent solo video life that I used to do. But slowly but surely, you know, little man's going to be a year and a half soon enough. And slowly but surely, we'll get the solo vids back in weekly, at the very least. And obviously in the summer, when the rumors and the chat about transfers gets a bit more consistent, I'll be there covering it. But big up you, my guy, and big up everyone still supporting the thing. You know, a lot of people could have dropped off because of the lack of consistency, but you lot are still here, so big up you guys. Has Arteta done what Wenger, Freddie, and Emery couldn't do? And that is to find the perfect position for Xhaka. No, I think what Arteta's done with Xhaka is find the position that it seems to be more pros than cons in. if that makes sense. I think when you played Xhaka in a deeper position, more central midway, deep line play, whatever people want to call him, um, and he's so susceptible to mistakes, then the cons far outweigh the pros. Even though I didn't really see many pros from him in that position. What moving him up has done a little bit is take him out the firing line in a sense where if he does make mistakes, then it's not the last line of defense before the defense. It's more so potentially in the final third or the final half of the middle third, if that makes sense. So, in that position at the moment, there's more pros because he's helping, give Partey more space, I guess, Odegaard as well. But that position requires more as well. And that's why we still need to upgrade in that position. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question. When can we get the top 6 midfielders video? Jake, my guy, it seems like you've watched the first 3 already. Be easy, my guy. Two in 2 days. Let me hold the midfielders one for a little bit. And when I say a little bit, it's not going to be a long thing. It'll be out in the next couple weeks, let's say. Next couple weeks, you'll see that. But obviously, with football coming back thick and fast, it depends where I want to drop it. We'll see. If there's a midday Saturday free without a Premier League game, which is rare, to be honest with you, these days, I'll put it in there. Turkish, unlucky with Turkey, man. Can only hope my country, Macedonia, make it past Portugal. So do I, man. That was that story, obviously, with Italy is something that no one saw coming. Leading up to this, I said, if Turkey even beat Portugal, it's Italy next. In the end, it turned out to be Macedonia. So big up you guys. You've done your thing. Portugal's another test. I think Portugal, it's very rare 2 back-to-back massive results like that come about. So I do think Portugal will make it through. But good luck, man. Good luck. Ronaldo was different out there against Turkey. He wants to get to that World Cup, so I'm sure he's going to be on job. But you, man, do your thing. People don't start with Turkey anyway, man. Let's stick to Arsenal right now, which is something that I wouldn't have been saying about a year ago. A year ago, I was looking forward to Turkey at the Euros more so than I was looking forward to the new season. Football's a funny game, man. He's a funny game. Clip says, Turkish, you need to rep Henry hard in that tops. Bro, Henry's a given. Like, I don't even want to hear no one talk about Henry. Obviously, there's a couple that's a given, to be honest with you, in a couple of different positions. But we're going to get into it. And listen, I know a few people seem to be upset with the voting system and whatnot. Listen, it is what it is. We've done most of the videos now. We've only got strikers left to do. No point in us changing it up now. There is flaws in it, but at the same time, whichever way you do it, there's always going to be flaws because getting 6 people to agree on a top 5, a top 6, when we all support different clubs, we've all had different eras, is a very difficult thing to do. But yeah, we'll take into consideration moving forward for other ones anyway. So big up everyone offering suggestions. It's just for these ones here. We've already done, the majority of them, so we need to just see them out now. Good to see you back. Love, my guy. Love. Did you see Pepe doing madness again? I didn't, I've heard about it, but I didn't. Yeah, here we are. Here's one about the rankings. Yeah, it might have been better to do it that way. At the same time, someone in the comment section is doing it that way, I believe, anyway. So each and every video, what I'll do is I'll put a love on that comment so it comes to the top. And if people want to see what it looks like in the point system, they can see it like that. Glad you're back with the solo vids. Hope the family are blessed, etc. All good. How are you feeling about Palace on Monday, the 4th of April? For me, it's a tough game. It is a tough game, especially considering they just, took a point off Man City at their ground on a Monday night. Monday night fixtures are always a funny one, especially when the pressure's on you. So I guess it depends what happens, on the weekend. I'm going to look into the fixtures in a moment anyway, and we'll kind of go through and get a gist of where it may finish this season. Not so much individual results and predictions, more so maybe win, lose, and draw. Get the 10 fixtures out the way for each club, or 9 fixtures, however much is left. Oh, here we are. We getting a hairline review. If we get Champions League, do you think bro? Turkish, can you go to Premier League table calculator and predict top four? I think it will be good for the video. I did it and we got top four with 3 points, and I was being harsh. You know what? I was gonna avoid doing that because I just think, yeah, you gotta be first. You gotta be harsh because that's the best way to do it. Be harsh on Arsenal, maybe be favourable on Tottenham and United and West Ham if you've included them, and see how it turns out. And I guess that might be a worst case scenario. Should I go into it? Let's just do win. Let's just do win, lose, and draw, and I'll calculate up. I've got the table here. We're on 54 points. Spurs are on 51. United on 50. We'll do win, lose, and draw, and then we'll calculate it. We'll calculate it, my guy. We'll come to some sort of an arrangement which sees us get a final Premier League table out of this video today. If Tommy's fit for Palace, would you start him over Cedric? Yeah. Depends how soon he became fit. I guess if it's a few days leading up to it, maybe it's wiser to put Cedric there. If he's fit now and he's back into, proper training, then yeah, I'd start him. Tomiyasu's our starting right back, so I'd definitely start him. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. And trust me, my bro. I hope you're well as well. I hope the family are all good. Guna lad saying I'm saying at least 15 points. Big up Scars. I see you, my guy. Still got me in the DP there, my bro. Where are we? Pepe to Palace, bringing Nabry for 40 mil. We'll talk about rumours and that, but it's still so much time between now and the summer transfer window that it'll just be rumours at that. Is Saliba better than Ben White? It's hard to really say. It's hard to say, my bro. It seems like he has all the attributes to be. It seems like he's been performing at a high level in France, but it is France at the end of the day, and we bought one of their high-level performing players a few years ago, and we never saw it. We haven't seen that level yet, so it's really hard to compare. At the end of the day, I still believe we won't be getting Saliba back. I don't know why I've always had that feeling from when last summer happened and he went out on loan again. Not only out on loan, but he got to choose and he went to where Guendouzi is. And, Guendouzi's thoughts on Arteta and the club are probably not in the best of places. So that to me didn't, lead me to believe that we're going to see a future with Saliba at this club. Listen, I'm welcoming again to be happily surprised, like I have been with a lot of the signings we made last summer. Saliba comes in. We've got some depth there in the centre-back position without even needing to spend in the summer. We already need to spend on a couple of positions, and in those couple of positions, we need to get a couple of bodies. So we've already got about 4 players we need to get for the first team. So if we can get Saliba back in, perfect. Who's better? Well, if we get him back in, I guess that's the time to see. But yeah, hopefully we do, because he's got 2 years left on his contract as well. So we'll see. I have a sneaky feeling we'll go back in for Tammy. I'm not sure. I think 1 year in Italy probably won't be enough. He's still young. He'll probably do another year or two before potentially wanting to come back, unless he's happy out there. A lot of players, find happiness in other places, and you don't hear from them again in terms of coming back to this league. Arteta doesn't rate Saliba, unfortunately. It's madness. Yeah, it is. Pepe or St. Maximin? St. Maximin seems to be more effective consistently, but I think if you're asking me on their day, then I'm taking Pepe, but he doesn't have enough days. Whereas, like I said, Maximin has more consistency, but there's something about his end product that doesn't sit well. Whereas Pepe's end product on his day is quality. So yeah, I'd take probably Maximin because of consistency, but Pepe on top form. Saliba won't stay, says Blue Moon. Your guess is as good as mine, my guy. Your guess is as good as mine. At the end of the day, we'll see come summer. We've still got shit to do. I can't even start thinking about the summer until I see what Arsenal do and finish off the season. Like top 4 is very different to top 6. We all know that, especially for Arsenal in this stage of the process and progress and all of that stuff. So I can't even think about the summer. At the end of the day, we get Champions League football, and you look at the summer very differently than you would if we only got Europa League football, and so on. If we don't get top 4, it will be because of lacquer. But that was always the worry from January. And that's why in the last solo vid I done, I talked about the roundabout and stuff like that, and not doing enough and not showing enough ambition to achieve a target, whether that target opens itself up midway through the season like this one has. None of us thought top 4 was going to happen. Midway through the season, it becomes a very viable target. And then 2/3 into the season, we are the favourites for it, where we are right now. So let's hope we're not looking back at January and ruin another example of a lack of proactivity that costs us. Hopefully we're looking at January and saying, you know what, credit to you lot, because you took a massive risk and we've come out the other side in a much better place than we would have if we took a risk here and there. I guess that would be the compliment to raise. But at the same time, it would also mean that, for example, if we was in for Vlahovic, 70 mil in January, then I'm going to assume that 70 mil rolls over to the summer spend. And let's just assume the summer spend is similar to last summer, which is about 150 mil. I guess that's fair if we're talking slowly stepping back up, or maybe some people might think it's unfair. Maybe they're expecting less, but I'm going to say 150 mil. Add the 70 from January onto that, it's 220 mil, let's say, or 200 plus mil. Is that going to be the case, or was that another smoke screen? And it is what it is. Bro, rep Bergkamp for the striker video, please. With the strikers, what I've done with the Bergkamp type striker, I've done the attacking mids, the number 10s, and the support strikers in one. So obviously Bergkamp kind of falls into that category. So look out for that one. We've done that one as well. And like I said, I've taken into consideration people's opinions on the rating system and whatnot. Listen, I'm quite happy with the list so far. The five so far, I'm not against. But there's one or two in the next coming shows that I'm just like, shit, we could have done this better. But it is what it is. It's still names that deserve to be in and around the conversation. It's just some of the positions for those names. Yeah, I can't get behind. Saba, big up my guy. Hope you're well, man. I'll definitely loan Balogun out to a Prem team next season. He's still young. If I'm honest, I'm bringing Balogun back as third choice striker. We'll be back in Europe. We'll be back in 4 competitions again. I'd bring him in as third choice, unless, regardless of what happens with Lacazette for me, whether we give him another year or 2 years, or whether we let him go, I think we need 2 strikers. Regardless. I just think that if we was to have him stay, then yes, loan out Balogun and have Lacazette as maybe the third choice, as the leader, or as the one that kind of oversees the new strikers coming in and embedding into the side, because that's one thing that Lacazette has done well, and that's be a leader, a character, someone that these players enjoy looking up to, let's say. And not in a silly way, I guess. I get a different type of vibe from Lacazette than I do from some of the others that have been called leaders over the years. Sorry, let me just sip my tea quickly. I see a super chat coming in. Let me just get that. Would I take Ivan Toney? Again, when I'm saying 2 strikers, if we do the job properly with the first striker, then I would take an Ivan Toney as a backup, as an option, as something else. But I wouldn't take him as a number 1 or someone to rely on. It's more, if shit hits the fan in the night in one of the games, you can bring him on and he offers an alternative, and he could probably play with another striker too in terms of what he can bring and his stature and his attributes and whatnot. So yeah, Paul says, Turkish, do you think Pepe should play down the middle? Goal scoring is his best attribute. You got to shout there, You got to shout. A couple years ago, I would have said nah, because I think even now, I just don't see it. But I guess, listen, a couple of years ago, I thought that, Pepe's dribbling was one of his best attributes. But the more I see him, the more I think it's one of the attributes that hold him back in this league. I think he's not afforded the time he was in. Well, I know he's not afforded the time he was in League One. And I think that works against the type of dribbler he is. Like, if you give him space, he's an amazing dribbler. He can wow you. He can turn you inside out, and he can take the piss. But if you close him down, if you get tight, he offers the ball out too much. He teases with the ball a bit too much, and it costs him in the end. So I think down the middle, potentially you eliminate that need for a dribble every time he gets the ball. Maybe you play him through over the top. When he first came in against Liverpool, I remember a lot of the success he found against the Liverpool side was balls over the top, using his pace and getting in behind. So maybe, but at the same time, I think we're discussing something that's never going to happen. I think we're discussing something that we would have seen already if it was going to be the case. And I think even Arteta mentioning Emil Smith-Rowe could potentially play as a false nine a few months or weeks ago kind of shows you that Pepe is our backup right winger at this moment in time, and that's it. There isn't a plan to try and fit him in, which at the moment, when you're doing well, is all good and well. It's fair to say that you just got to do what you got to do. Don't get me wrong, because it's been a little while since the last solo vid. I'm remembering things here and then. I remember Pepe against Wolves. Obviously, Arteta said his wife gave birth in the early hours of the morning, 2-3 in the morning, and he asked if he wants to take the day off, and Pepe said, "Nah, I'm still gonna come." And I like that mentality because he knows he's not a starter, and he knows he could feel hard done by with the lack of game time over the year. But even in such a situation as he found himself in with his personal life, he still wanted to come. He came, and then he won us the game off the bench. So in terms of happiness and in terms of, I guess, how we feel Arteta's treating him, those kind of things tell me that he might be understanding of Arteta's criticisms, and he's trying to work hard to change the boss's mind. Because many times we've seen over the years players turn their head down at situations like this, and if they're offered the chance to take a day off, they'll take a day off, and so on. So, yeah, big up Izzy as well. How would you address the striker situation? Turkish, the market for 9 is meaty. I'm not convinced by Nunes nor Isak to take us to. Isak is just one of those ones where it's like, we're going to hope he comes and just develops into the striker we hope we're getting. Whereas if we base it off what we've seen, and I've seen very little, or what we can read into, again, which doesn't really glorify his talents, yeah, I think we need to be a bit more shrewd with it. I think we need to be a bit more shrewd with it. Let me just save that super chat. And we're linked to Rashford. Fuck that. No, we're not linked to Rashford. Don't listen. Again, don't listen. Don't listen to these things until they become a reality. So yeah, I had a list. I remember a few months ago, again, maybe the solo video, I read out a list of strikers that we could potentially go in for this summer. Now, if we get Champions League football, that list maybe adds 1 or 2 more names. Who knows? But Nunes, I think, is definitely the more interesting option for me out of him and Isak, Izzy, since those are the 2 names you mentioned. But again, we have to sign 2 strikers, and I think we have to sign 2 different profile of striker too. And then if you keep Lacazette, third choice. If you don't keep him, Balogun slots in his third choice. That's just what I see. In terms of strikers, let me think. Giovanni Simeone is another one that I guess as a backup option would serve a purpose. Good age as well, in terms of what we need experience-wise. There was some other names. There was a few names anyway. Felix would be the dream, considering what he brings seems to be what Arteta would love for a striker. And not only that, he brings lethal finishing with him too. But I think Atletico, and they're powerful. Financially they're powerful too, and they spend a hell of a lot of money on him. So again, it'd have to be Patrick Schick, another one. Yeah, Martinez. That, I guess that would depend on Champions League football too. Yeah, I did say Werner as well. I did say Werner. Someone said you said Werner on AFTV. I said Werner in a list of about 8 to 10 names. And I said him about 8th, 9th, but obviously everyone wants to concentrate on the one shock. But definitely Schick. You see with Schick or a Tony or or a Giovanni Simeone. That's the profile I want. And they're not the same player, but that's the profile I want for my plan B striker. That's like the backup striker. That's something different. Um, Martinez, at times I've watched him and I think this guy ain't, he ain't gonna cut it. Like against Liverpool, for example, Van Dijk just bullied him, and at Martinez's age, I get Van Dijk bullying, young players in the Arsenal side, and by bullying I mean, making his presence felt. Um, he was doing that to Martinez, but out of nowhere, Martinez comes and bangs one top corner. So he showed his quality there. It's just again at times this over the last couple of years, really, every time I've seen Inter, Martinez hasn't set the world alight, but at the same time, he has real quality. So it all depends on the mix of strikers Arsenal get as well. It doesn't seem like there's one outstanding candidate out there that will come and make bag 20. So maybe we need to get two where, two to bag 15, or something along those lines. We need to improve heavily in that position. And whether it's through one big one and one smaller one or two middle-sized ones that work out well, we need to Osimhen's another one, don't know how realistic he is, says Izzy. I'd say very realistic considering he's at Napoli and we might be in Champions League next year and things around Arsenal. And people got to understand how important it is for players as well to be reading stuff about Arsenal when it is positive. Like, as much as over the years, when I'm talking about fans in particular and Kroenke and how we've kind of let a false sense of positivity be manipulated by them as owners of Arsenal Football Club. I think when players are reading about Arsenal, reading Arteta's project, and they're seeing acts of discipline like the Ozil and Oba situations, not brushed under the carpet, but overseen in a manner that seems to appease the whole club. So it looks like everyone's, riding in the same direction, basically. It's good for players to read into that as well. So top four, as well as what seems like, a positive turn around the corner for Arsenal Football Club. I think a lot of these strikers that we didn't think was a possibility a few months ago become a possibility. We've got the money for it. The league's got the money for it. So we've got the money for it. It's just, do we have the ambition for it? And we just got to, keep the pressure on Erling Haaland. I've been seeing people tweeting about Erling Haaland. I don't know what. Yeah. Listen, one step at a time, people. One step at a time. Lukaku, once upon a time, I thought Lukaku would have come Chelsea and been the last piece of the jigsaw for them. But look at how that one turned out. You got to be shrewd with it. You got to make it make sense in this modern day football. It seems it's not just buy one striker that bangs somewhere else and he comes and bangs for you. It's all systems. It's all a robotic style of football that some players thrive in different systems. Some players look shit in different systems. And the reality is, it's the system that defines the players. So it's a weird game, football now. It's a weird game, so it's hard for fans to really, know what we need. At the end of the day, last summer I thought the recruitment, the early part of the recruitment, was quite poor. I thought Ramsdale, I thought Ben White. I didn't think the level that we was going for was good enough to turn a corner. But here we are, March going into April, talking about top four, which none of us thought was a possibility. And don't get me wrong, I remember saying last summer too, and I hold my hands up, nothing we can do this summer. And I hold my hands up to say nothing we can do this summer can help us get top four. But I also said, unless one of the top four teams fuck about. And that's what's happening with Man United. That's what's happening with Tottenham. But we are capitalizing. It's not so much them just fucking about that's opened the door. It's us capitalizing too. So credit needs to go where it needs to go to. Where are we? Big up Adams. Turkish, I'm baffled. Turkish, my bro, I'm baffled that Arsenal fans are entertaining the Rashford rumours. I thought you, man, were on the up. But if you, man, take him from us, then it's the same old Arsenal, innit, bro? Like, you just heard my thoughts on it. I think the super chat came in before I mentioned Rashford. But, my bro, you must be talking about Twitter because, yeah, the only advice I got for anyone is just, the less time spent on Twitter, the better. especially football Twitter, because it's a messy place. It's a messy place indeed. But yeah, I don't want Rashford. Rashford doesn't improve us, in my opinion. And like you said, you're a United fan. He's come through your academy, and you're even admitting that it wouldn't be a step in the right direction for us. Taking his eye off the game. Listen, what Rashford's done off the pitch, it's been great. It's been amazing. But at the same time, you do have to juggle it with what you're doing. What you do that puts you in that position. You can't just, start doing things left field and then all of a sudden forget about what put you in a position to be able to do that. That's what it happens to a lot of footballers as well. There is a fine balance to it all. On one hand, like I said, you big up Rashford for the things he's done for England, for people, for children in particular. But in a footballing sense, I can see why Man United fans have had enough. The PR on top of it, the constant apologies. I ain't with all that. But if we're talking Pogba now, if I speak, my guy, if I speak, Turkish is Mason Mount a world class? No. John Turkish, yesterday I was watching Akinfenwa doing his predictions about the England squad for the World Cup, and he ignored Smith Rowe completely, which made me mad about it. What, the whole squad? The 25-man squad? He left out Smith Rowe. It's hard for me to comment right now. All right, let me know in the chat how many midfielders can England pick? Let me know in the chat. Let's see if we can do this quickly. How many midfielders can England pick in the squad of, what is it, 25 for the World Cup? 22? Man really asked him, man, is world class. Yeah, my guy. That was a real quick question. Thank you for the super chat. See now, look, someone said 8, someone said 6, someone said 5. Look, we don't know either. We don't know either. Someone else said 8, someone said 7. Cool. So what are we saying? And by midfielders, did they put? I forget now. You know already Jack Grealish is going to be in it. Price tag and the hype around him already cool. But again, how is it done? You see, you're talking about. You see international football, John. After what happened to Turkey the other day, the energy I have for international football. I know I live in England, but I ain't got the energy. But for me, Smith Rowe, it all depends on how he starts next season too, because he's had a great season in my opinion this season. He hasn't nailed down a starting spot, but he's been so productive, and he's been so productive when he starts. When he doesn't start, he's an asset. He's an asset that I think, especially England, who sometimes in tournaments lack a real game-changing type player, he might come in handy there. Sometimes England take too many starters, if that makes sense. They take too many players that really impact the game starting, and they put them on the bench. And this is just not the Southgate era. This goes back many eras. And then they're on the bench, and then you're bringing a player that doesn't really have an impact coming off the bench. He more so wants to feel his way into the game. Whereas with Emil Smith Rowe, we've seen that there was a period where we thought he was unlucky having been dropped for Odegaard, but then we saw his effectiveness off the bench. And now we question whether, that is the best way to deploy him, So I think he would be an asset for England to take. Good enough to start? Probably not, but definitely an option off the bench when need be. And when I mean an option, I mean a very viable option in times of need, because I think he is one of the few that can come off the bench and really change a game, or really add to a game, let's say. What do you think of a McGinn and Partey? I like McGinn, There's a fire about him. The only thing is, yeah, I like McGinn. I was going to say, does he start for like a title challenging side? But I guess over the years, we've seen players like him, players that apply themselves. I guess people will call it passion merchants, but he's got a bit of technical ability about him too. I see him, I think, definitely as an option. Like I said, we need to improve in a couple positions. And in those couple positions, we need a couple players. So there's a bit of work we have to do. And I think McGinn would be a decent option. But at the same time, it all depends on who the main option becomes. You know, if you get a Pogba in, for example, for the position that Xhaka is playing in now, then a McGinn not next to him, but a McGinn as the other signing in midfield, in my opinion, adds great depth. You know, adds adds something we don't necessarily have at this moment in time. So yeah, it's an option. Right, so Turkish, what do you think about Arsenal dropping new merch every week? And PR and branding of our store merch is becoming embarrassing, regardless of whether Arsenal win, lose, and draw. The standards of our club, my guy, you already know how I feel about all that merch. You already know how I feel. That's why I promote buying vintage shirts instead, sourcing vintage shirts if possible. It's harder, but you know, because it's harder and because they're rarer and because they actually have some meaning, vintage shirts, you feel a lot better when you do eventually get hold of one or two or a few. That's why I'll always promote that. Even now that it seems to be Arsenal are doing quite well, we still need to apply pressure onto these owners because these owners can't now think they can sit around like they did when we made top four all those years in a row. They sat around and thought it was a given, and it wasn't a given. As fans, we got to make sure they don't think it's a given again because it's not in this league. It's not. There's six sides, and there's a Newcastle side who over the next 2 to 5 years will probably enter that conversation too. Nearly approaching 50% of the league. The merch is cold, says Izzy. Nah, bro, that's Stella McCartney stuff. Bro, you can't be talking about that Stella McCartney stuff, Izzy. Don't do this to me. You need to reply to me. No one should be talking about that Stella McCartney stuff and saying they're onto that car. I don't know what that is. Turkish UG, you're commending a top four finish, what you sacked Wenger for. Arsenal have strategically programmed it's not about commending, my bro. It's about understanding that there's going to be steps needed to take in order to achieve and reach where we all wanted to get to when we, got rid of Wenger, when we got all the animosity towards the process back then. Arsenal were never going to bring in a manager, and whether that manager was Conte, who I would have loved, Pochettino, who I would have taken, whether it was Allegri, whether it was whoever, we was never going to get the manager we wanted in. And if we did, that manager wasn't going to take us to the promised land in 2-3 years under this ownership anyway. Under this ownership, I don't think there is a promised land. I still don't, if I'm honest with you. And when you see Man City, on the verge of Haaland this summer and Pep potentially going to sign an extension, and you look at Liverpool, who are still being shrewd and making big signings like Jota and Diaz and so on. Konate is another good one for them. I think the goal of title is so far away that we need to take steps. We need to take steps. So it's not about being strategically programmed to celebrate fourth. No fan should celebrate fourth. I've maintained that forever. If we get fourth, smile, be happy, but the next day, just know we got to apply pressure on a positive summer, on a summer that's proactive, on a summer that improves on the vital positions in order to add depth in positions too. Top four doesn't do nothing for us but get us entry into another competition. Yes, okay, the main European competition, but I'm not one that just wants entry. I'm one that wants us to build on top of that. I want us to be a mainstay in that, so on. Big up Turkish, love from London, Kardashian. Big up Burak, man. Hope you're good, my guy. Hope you are good. I think Robertson 8 mil, Turkish, says Ilyas. Yeah, big signing, one question here, but I missed it. Did I see Toby stream? Toby, Saeed. Hasn't been a good week for these big six guys, man. I'll tell you that, man. I'll tell you that. Those call-in shows are dangerous. They're dangerous. I can't even lie to you. I don't know why man want to do that. Not only does it ruin it for other people that actually enjoy those call-in shows, it could ruin it for the fucking content creator itself. If you're not fast enough, if people report it quick enough, which in this world there's more, the hate is louder than the love, that's for sure. A man could just have his YouTube account locked off just like that, just because a man decided to be I don't know what to call him, but he decided to be something. And then what does that really do? How does that achieve anything? For me, obviously it's funny because he's got away with it, and Tobes is blessed and Saeed's blessed and their accounts are calm and everything. It's funny. We can laugh. In hindsight, it's calm. But just say, imagine it locked the whole thing off. It's fucked up. Saeed was quick. Saeed was quick. It is all mad. But yeah, like South London's fan has said, he could get his channel blocked. And for what? Like, you must know him. You might not like his opinion, but you must know him and watch him enough to be on that stream trying to get in and do a madness. So, why are you going to try ruin a man's thing? Like, fucking hell. But the fact that Toby was asking who the biggest flop is as well during it just adds to the gold. It's mad. Like I said, we can laugh about it now. My man asked, I don't know, Toby's just like asking, he's allowing people in and he's just asking questions like that. Yeah, so who do you think the flop of the season is? And I'm thinking, bro, look, even when I rewatch, I was thinking, bro, look at the screen, my guy. What's going on here? What's going on? He just flipped. He said, you fucking waster. You fucking waster. Saeed was joking, man. Bismillah. What is this? What is this? It's mad in the dunya. It's crazy in the dunya. I don't know which one was better, man. I don't know which one was better. Scarfuggery needs to do something with them, man. He needs to do something with them. It is what it is. Let's look into I got a thing here. Please bring back these 1-to-1 streams more often. Used to get me through lunch break. Like I said, my guy, they are going to be back more often. I just need to make sure it fits in. Ideally, once a week should be the bare minimum. Once a week should be the bare minimum. But it will come. Sooner or later, it will come. Look, the Big Six is, I'm doing stuff for AFTV. Then I got the Big Six that I got to handle too with the rest of the lads. So obviously, with this one's a priority for me as well. But at the same time, I just got to slot it in because I've got a little one and that's the biggest priority in the world. So you guys know, man. Saeed impression on point. You guys know what happened. Just go on Twitter, man. Actually, don't go on Twitter. I tell people not to go on Twitter. But if you want to find this, just go on Twitter. You'll find it, man. Who do I think is the funniest on the Big Six? I can't lie. Saeed's funny, but Big Steve is funny as well. Everyone's funny on that show in different ways. Like Grizz is funny, Toby's funny, Matisse is funny. Everyone's got a different kind of. Everyone's character just blends in so well. Everyone's so different, but at the same time, it just works. I think everyone's funny in their own way, and especially when you have these random clashes like Matisse and Tobes and Steve and Saeed, and the classic clashes that we've had over the year, and it's still all love, I think everyone adds something. Grizz is low-key the funniest. Grizz, listen, like I said, man, look, Grizz, those slide digs with a serious face. Trust me, those one-liners as well, like Saeed, keep your head up, and things like that here and there. So everyone's got their pros on the Big Six. Everyone's important. Everyone's a big part of it. Listen, we are the Big Six. The Big Six was the name for the 6 clubs that tried to break away for the Super League. It's still the name for them. But we are now the Big Six. When when I look at it now, I think, when I think about the Big Six now, I think about me, Saeed, Steve, Tobes, Matisse, and Grizz, and I'm thinking about the show, and I'm thinking about how to build on it and whatnot. Like I said, Newcastle might enter the fray in a few years, but I think the term Big Six and us 6 has become kind of a match made in heaven. So yeah. Will you extend Lacker's contract? Personally, I would not as a starter, but backup maybe. I'd extend it as a third choice. But I think we need 2 strikers in, my guy. I think we need 2 strikers in. I don't think Lacazette brings enough for me to be happy with him off the bench. And this is the way I'm thinking about it. We're 1-0 down in one of the biggest games next season, be it Europe or be it, Premier League, FA Cup, whatever. And because we've given Lacazette the extension, whoever's starting for us, Nunes or Martinez, or let's just say the Dreamers get Haaland, whoever's starting hasn't banged. But we got Lacazette on the bench. does that solve that issue that we need a goal off the bench? It doesn't. So I still think we need 2 strikers regardless. I'd probably say if we re-sign Laka, then second, third choice rotation, depending on what you need out of the game. If you need a more robust striker to, stay in the game or whatever, then yeah, bring him on. But not if you need a goal. Let's see what's going on. Big up for the amazing shows. I've been laid up past few weeks, health issues, and your content has got me through the rough days. Come on, my bro. Hope you see better days. Hope things get better for you. Yeah, just stay positive about it, and I appreciate that our shows and the content can help you through these times. But big up you and big up everyone watching right now as well. 1,200. I didn't even clock. How many likes we're on? We're on 500 likes. That's decent. Without me asking for the like button to be hit, I think 500 likes is decent. I think we should be on 1,000 likes. I think by now that's become the norm. Big six, Turkish, 1,000 likes. Make it make sense. But if you haven't hit it now, or wait till the end of the show. Like I said, let me just look at these fixtures quickly. Bang. Here's the fixtures, yeah? So, let's kind of talk through it. Let me see what's going on here. We're going to talk through it, people. I've got this comment section up as well, so I can see the comment section. If any super chats come in, then I will save them to the side. So don't worry about that, people. But remaining fixtures for Arsenal, Tottenham, and United, I've left West Ham out of this. The reason being because they've played the most games out of the 4, and they are in 7th place at the moment. It's still very possible, but at the same time, I'm going to focus on these 3 who are, the 3 of the big 6. So, Crystal Palace, like we said, we like to be harsh. I like to anyway. I know a couple others that like to do it. Like to be more cautious and harsh on the Arsenal side of things than not. There is some tough fixtures there. Crystal Palace, I'd say draw. I'd say it's a tough one. Let's say draw. I know worst case could be worse than a draw, but I just think a draw is a fair, cautious prediction to make. I want to see what the chat think as well. Draw. Mo says win. I'm trying to be cautious with this one. So win at Palace, says PK. It's don't get me wrong. Of course, man wants to win at Palace. Now, of course, man wants to win at Palace. There's no doubt about that. But what I'm saying is this is a prediction for the rest of the season, yeah. It's probably better to just listen. I'm saying draw. So we're putting 1 point on the board. I'm gonna tally it up. Brighton home 3 points. Yeah, them ones there. There's a few of them 3 points. Southampton away. For me, 3 points. I know it's a difficult one, but I'm gonna put 3 points for that one as well. It could be more cautious, but I guess with Southampton away, expectation 3 points, especially when you consider that our away form has picked up recently as well. Chelsea away. All right, when you look at Chelsea away, that's the one that stands out as the I guess most likely loss of the lot. So I'm going to put 0 points there. So worst case scenario, we take nothing at that game. Man United at home. Now this one, before the stream started, I put Man United win because I'm confident against them. But then I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be cautious, then I think a draw. To put a draw is a fair result for the Man United home game. Again, this is not what I expect. This is more what worst case scenario could be, in my opinion. Draw, yeah. Draw for now. That's how I see it. 1 point. I'm going to put 1 point there. Cool. West Ham away. Again, I'm going to put a draw for that one. Reason being, listen, it's one of those ones where it's hard to predict these games so early on because our West Ham's still going to be in Europe. Where does the game fall? I'm not too sure if this game has been scheduled yet. It actually has been scheduled, hasn't it? Yeah, it has been. So I'm not too sure where it falls, but I'm going to put draw as the cautious worst case scenario. Leeds, 3 points. I know they might be in and around the relegation battle at the time, which does add to things, but I just think Leeds at home, situation they're in, 3 points. Newcastle game. Newcastle away. This is a funny. I think they'll be safe by this time. I think Newcastle will be safe. I think Newcastle will be safe. Should I put 3 points against Newcastle? Is that the cautious way of looking at it, even though it's away? And mm, yeah, I'm gonna put 3 points. Let's be confident against Newcastle. Let's just say we're gonna go in and do it. Everton home, 3 points again. It should be. They might be fighting relegation, but this is the last game of the season, so I assume it will be done and dusted by then, one way or another. So I'm going to put 3 points for Everton, and in the Tottenham away, I'm going to put 1 point. Yeah, I'm going to put 1 point for that one. Is that fair? Is that fair? I've just run through Arsenal's ones. Is that a fair, way of looking at it? Is that cautious with some optimism mixed in? I want to know what the chat's saying. I'm looking at the chat now. I think that's fair. We're going to do the Tottenham ones next, and then we're going to do the Man United ones. And with them ones, I guess I want to look at them ones as an Arsenal fan. We're looking at them ones as worst case scenario. Not so cautious with these ones. Maybe be a bit more. Yeah. Look. Let's start with Tottenham. 3 points. Newcastle at home. I think we can all agree on that one. That's what it seemed like it'll be. People saying fair, cool, fair, realistic. Alright, cool. I'll tally up the points at the end anyway. Newcastle, 3 points for Tottenham win. Yeah. Aston Villa away. I put draw. I put 1 point. I know Arsenal just beat them 1-0 away. It's a difficult game. I put 1 point. Is that me being too optimistic? Draw. I see PK saying there, my guy. A few draws. I'm going to go with the 1 point. Brighton at home for Tottenham. We're going to go back to 3 points on that one there. 3 points. Cool. So what we got? We got Newcastle 3 points, Villa 1 point, Brighton 3 points. That week we play Chelsea and United play Liverpool. They haven't got anyone midweek, so they go on to Brentford away. This one's a funny one because I put draw, then I thought, nah, that's me being optimistic. I should probably put Tottenham win and be happily surprised if they lose points. What do you guys think? Win. Little going win. Win for Spurs. Cool. Let's do it. 3 points. Let's do it. 3 points. Leicester home, I think. Again, it's another one that they could slip up in. But it's also another one that I'm thinking, are we being too optimistic here? Not too optimistic. Are we being too draw? Because I'm looking at it now. If we put 3 points for this one, we're saying Tottenham are going to win 4 out of their next 5 games. Draw, South London's finest. Win, draw. 3 points. There's a few Spurs win, poor away records. Yeah, it's 3 points. Let's just give 3 points to them. I don't know how this table's going to look in the end. Liverpool away 0. Let's not even get into that one there. Even though I'm not saying they can't, I'm just saying, yeah, it's unlikely. Burnley at home, mate, 3 points. Norwich away, 3 points. And then obviously we done the 1 point for the Arsenal game as well. So that one wraps that one up. This ain't looking good. Before I even start tallying everything up, let's do United now. Let's do United, and then I'll come back on screen and we can just discuss it while I tally things up. Burnley draw, someone said. I just think it's probably best to put win, if I'm honest. Burnley and Norwich, Tottenham should be beating them. Come end of the season, Norwich are finished now. Let alone come that last game of the season, they have 2 feet and 2 arms in the Championship already. So yeah, they ain't showing up. Everton, for us, let's hope it's not last day of the season. They need to win to survive. But yeah, we should still take care of it. All right, cool. I guess with Tottenham, we've looked on the worst case scenario side, and they've got a lot of wins in there Cool. Man United. Leicester at home. Man United. I was talking to a United fan the other day. He said put draw for that one. I'm not too sure. I think 3 points. Man United at home to Leicester. Someone said Leicester's away record ain't great, so we'll put in a W. Put 3 points there. Cool. I see W's flying in. Everton away. Now this with Everton. No, this is the business end of the season now, and with Everton away, I guess it depends on, do you think Lampard's going to turn it around there and relegation battle start, Everton will start pulling out performances because shit hits the fan, or do we think they're just going to crumble and fall away and Lampard gets sacked in a few games? Everyone's saying win. Everyone's saying win for Everton away. All right, cool. Let's put 3 points. 3 points for United. Cool. I'm hesitant saying 3 points for United there, but fuck it, we'll go with the majority. Norwich, 3 points. No need to debate that one, people. Liverpool away. Do we need to say anything about that? I don't think so. Arsenal away. So we done 1 point for Arsenal, so we're going to do 1 point for United. These games are really going to swing on the Arsenal United, Arsenal Tottenham games, in my opinion. When I do the tallies at the end, it's going to be tight. All right, so Arsenal away done. Brentford at home for United. United's home form ain't the best, and Brentford's... You see, even with Tottenham, when we put 3 points for Brentford away, I just think that Brentford around these times will be fighting relegation. Relegation-threatened teams really start performing at this stage of the season. I think you've got to take that into account, but at the same time, like I did say, you want to be worst case scenario as an Arsenal fan looking at these games and seeing what comes out of it. So Brentford are safe, says Ezra. All right, cool. We'll put 3 points. We'll put 3 points United. Cool. 3 points United. Brighton away. Brighton away. United's away record ain't that bad, is it? So what have we given here? We've given 4 wins out of 6. What are people saying? Brighton away for Man United. Easy win. Draw. Yeah, maybe put 1 point for this one. Yeah, I'm seeing a few draws, and we're gonna put a draw for this one. I think that might be being optimistic, but we'll put a draw. It's not, like Devin said, it's not an easy place to go. Chelsea at home for United. I think 1 point as well, I guess, is fair. Should we say that's fair? 1 point against Chelsea. Got a lot of W's there, though, against Brighton in the worst form. Yeah, they're in the worst form, but Brighton, this is another seven games away. So you got to think about that. Chelsea, we're going to put a draw for that one as well, yeah? It could be an L. It could be an L. It could be a W. That's one of those games where it all depends what's to play for at that time. Chelsea could be comfortably third with no chance of getting second and no chance of dropping fourth, and United might be on the cusp of top 4 and needing to win. So people are saying L, draw. I'm going to put draw. I'm going to put 1 point just to, worst case scenario, Man United get a point out of that game. Last but not least, Crystal Palace away for Man United. Last game of the season. Those last games of the season, they're funny games, They're funny games because sometimes they're high scoring. Sometimes, underdogs just doing madness. What are we saying? WL, draw. It's mixed. It's a mix. Draw. The draws are coming in now. United W. United are shit. L, draw. Are we saying another point then? This worst case scenario, yeah, draw. Win. There's a lot of draws there. We're saying 1 point. Cool. I think that's all of them, right? Yeah, that is all of them. All right, cool. Let's take you're rating United high. Listen, I'm trying to look at it in the way where worst case scenario, United managed to get a point there. They managed to win that one. Let's just see how it ends up. And looking at Arsenal in a way where we're being fair and cautious if it still ends up in our favor. Let me just tally this up now quickly. Let me bring the comments back in. Vieira to do Arsenal a favour. We hope so, but we've got Vieira next, so the first favour comes next Monday. Let me tally this up, people. 4, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19. So we've done 19 points there for Arsenal. 3, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 20 points there for Tottenham. And United, 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, 16 points for United. Yeah, again, so 19 points. What are we on now? 54, 74, 73 points. Well, Tottenham 170, 51, 71 points. United 66. Yeah, so it ends up the same way it is at the moment. It ends up the same. It all lands on this Arsenal-Tottenham game, if we're honest. When I look at it here, it really all lands on that game and where that game's going to be. So we've just run through all. Arsenal 19 points puts us on 73 points. Tottenham 20 points puts them on 71 points, and United 16 points puts them on 66 points. It all comes down to that game. Win, lose, or draw in that North London derby, it seems, will be the decider. But again, obviously, it's the league's so hard to predict. It's hard to predict the next 3 weeks, let alone the next however many weeks we predicted here, 8, 9 weeks. So 73 points is enough, says, well, the message is just gone, but they will fuck us with that Spud game, Turkish. Well, I'm hoping, the job can be finished before May even comes. But again, sorry, let me just bring this up again just to see what's... So by the end of May, I just don't see... Listen, if Tottenham go and lose to Villa and then they draw to Brentford, yeah, then, we've given them... Well, actually, we gave them a point for Villa, so that's... Yeah, if they lose to Villa, if they draw to Brentford, this could all be overcome come May. But then we'd have to do our job on this end, which is a tough task in itself when you look at some of the away games we've got to face. So yeah, like I said, let's hope we wrap it up before then. 100%. Thoughts on Yilmaz's retirement? It's a shame it had to end the way it did, but it is what it is. It's about time. I think it's time that Turkey gets a bit of a refresh, especially in the attacking positions, because I don't even want to talk about them, man. Just stress. Imagine that. I see United getting fourth, says Ezra. Nah, I don't think so. I think we was quite good on United, because even if I change a few of those 1 points, let's say I change a few of those points to 3 points, I change 2 of those results to 3 points. They're on 70. So even if we're favourable on United's side, they still don't. It doesn't seem like they're going to reach the. United need to have a flawless end to the season, whilst Arsenal and Tottenham really do fuck shit up, and I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, we've seen crazier things. This is essentially where it counts now. Tottenham United have been fucked up all season, but if Tottenham or United can have a flawless end to the season, they will get it. Because if you have a flawless end to the season, and by flawless, okay, 1 loss here maybe, or 1 draw, 2 draw, you will get it, regardless of the way the rest of the season's been. So as much as Arsenal for this season have done their thing to be in this position, now is the time to really see it home. So yeah, how overrated is Paddy? He's overrated. I actually want him to get knocked. For some of the comments he's made on Twitter as well, I actually want him to get knocked soon. So sooner the better. Have I watched Top Boy yet? Not yet. I watched episode 1, but to be honest, after this, I might even bang out a couple episodes before bed. Free the Wave. Come on, my guy. Always, man. My guy, every year I think my guy's coming out, and every year I'm just let down. I just don't understand what's going on over there. Not enough updates on that situation. Man said Lord Harris of Peckham has got to go this summer, bro. I'm tired of him. Bro, I don't even know who my man is. Jordan said, remember the last couple games in 2018-19. Lost to Wolves, lost to Palace, draw to Palace. Was it Brighton? One of them, Brighton. Easiest run of games, and we bottled top 4. That's why, we can't we can't act like we've achieved anything yet. There's still work to be done. You know, at the end of the day, I remember those times too. There was a good spirit amongst the fans in Arsenal and whatnot going into those games. And I remember players like Zaha and even Brighton. They got some players that would look at that and be like, "Let's derail this train." You know, there's going to be teams that want to do that now. You know, these teams that are and players that are talking about, oh, they're celebrating a lot and all of this, you know, hoo-ha about that. Yeah, it's just it is what it is. Yeah, but it does light a fire. You know that other teams can be motivated by. So best believe when you look at the fixtures and you see some of the like Southampton away there, as much as we put 3 points, it could be a tricky one. Newcastle away towards the end of the season, you know, they wanna show that they can, you know, match up with the best of them. Well, we might not be the best of them, but you know what I mean. So these types of games, they're gonna be tougher than they look on paper, that's for sure. So we need to keep our heads screwed on and just get the job done, game by game. I didn't want to go too much into the predictor and whatnot because win, loss, and draw is enough for me. I'm not going to be 3-1 here, 1-0 there, 2-0. Fuck all that. Win, loss, draw. We got where we are. 73 points. Arsenal 71. Tottenham 66. Man United. It'll do. It'll definitely do. That gets us top 4. And we are an hour and 6 minutes in, people. Hit the like button if you haven't hit it already. Subscribe to the Big Six channel if you haven't already. Obviously, we've released a couple pieces of content. Top 6 centre-backs, top 6 full-backs. We've done the top 5. We've given 6th place to you guys to vote in the comment section. Pin comment there. Make sure you vote under that one. So after this video, go over there and watch them ones there. Let me take some more questions before we wrap it up. Remember, Arteta said in 3 years he'll win the Champions League, meaning next year will be the year. You see with this one, though, yeah? Willian said he said it, or something like that happened. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know what to believe. Either way, that was never going to happen. But imagine it. Let me not even speak. That was just PR, you know. That was just, let's get behind Willie and his experience. He's coming in to bring us, you know, to the Champions League and all that shit. The maximum we can get is 84, Spurs 78 and United 77. And we need 20 points and it's pretty much guaranteed forwards. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, 81, if you're saying the maximum we can get is 84 and I'm looking here 73, I think that's fair when you look at what's that, 11 points dropped over the last 10 fixtures. You know, I think we've been very fair and cautious with the approach on Arsenal. Spurs 78, they've got 71 here, so 7 points dropped, 4 on us. And United 77, 11 points dropped, but United are shit. So I think it's fair. He is an Arsenal fan. Yeah, I know. Maybe we interview him one day. We should have done that actually. We should have actually interviewed him as part of the press run for the Top Boy, but soon I'll message him and see if we can get him in for an interview. 1,200 people watching still, 750 likes. We're getting there, people. If you haven't hit the like button already, make sure you do hit it on the way out. I said 20 pints, and that too, says Jake. Big up Jake, man. Hope you're good, my guy. If you could pick one realistic 9, who are you going with? You said the word realistic, so we're not saying Haaland here, right? I'd say Felix, you know. Again, realistic. That's on the cusp of realism, if I'm honest. Realistically, if we get Champions League, we could go for Felix and get him if you offer the right money. Yeah. But it depends on how realistic you see it on the Kroenke. So again, let me not say Felix because it's not very realistic under this ownership to spend 100 mil on one player. Martinez, I guess, would be the most realistic one. Even though if you ask me, it'd be Felix that I'd want to take, but Martinez probably would be the one for me that you take the punt on. So yeah. Oh yeah, there you are, my guy. Felix, good shot. I don't think Felix gets bullied here, Reggie. I honestly don't. I think he's got too much about him in terms of quality and in terms of things he brings to the game Not just his presence in the box and finishing ability. I think he's got a lot more about him that has kind of been nullified by Simeone and Atletico system. I think he'll come out a better player from that time at Atletico under Simeone in terms of adding the robust side of the game and the discipline side of the game. I think long term will make him a better player. But at the same time, I don't think we've seen the best of Felix's quality and technical ability at times at Atletico Madrid. So, yeah, I think that would be the one for me. They said Odegaard would get bullied too. Fair point. Fair point. I do remember that being one of the doubts. Osimhen's another one. More a risk than I'd say Felix. Expensive though, yeah, but you know, football's expensive, my guy. Big up Ginny, man. Big supporter of the channel, man, from a long time. But football, you either get down or lay down. That's how I see it with Arsenal. Because yeah, we try to do the self-sustaining thing and all of this stuff for years. And yes, you've got to do that. You've got to put yourself in a healthy position, but at the same time, you've got to show ambition too. You can't just get stuck in that self-sustaining bubble here, never planning to get here with it, you know, and that's something that has been a major factor in my criticism of Kroenke. It's not necessarily the way and the format that you're looking to do it in, but it's the ambition that you're showing in between and proactivity when coming to big decisions. You think Kroenke will give us money to spend this summer? Well, so they have to. They have to. Great work was done last summer in creating a base, a foundation in the side, and it seems like that's been created, a base, a good foundation to build on. So build on it. No one expected top four. If we get top four on top of that base and foundation, then build on it properly. No messing about. It will probably be the biggest summer, you know, potentially in Arsenal's Premier League history. That's for sure, because like I said, no one expected top four. We've got a good base and foundation at the moment. Things, you know, atmosphere, fans connected. Everything seems to be, you know, going in a unified direction. Any messing about, any knockbacks, any setbacks, any examples of same old Kroenke, yeah, would really kind of quell that fire and the hard work that's been done up until this point. Because it's been hard work to change, not change, but to start showing a light to fans, even like me. That'll take a hell of a job to do. The job's not finished. One light is top four, but once you go into that light, it's another tunnel that you need to get to the next light, and that next light is challenging for the league title. Not like I keep on saying that we are not entitled not to say win it, but challenge. That's the next light. You know, there's still a few tunnels to get through, people, and top four is not the be all and end all. It's what we do in the summer with top four that is the be all and end all. So we'll see, people. I think that's about it. Have I missed any super chats? I don't think I have. Let me see if there's any last few questions here. Man said he sees some grey coming through in the beard. Taylor, what are you saying, my bro? I know there is a couple grey ones still. It's all mad. One day I might be sitting here with a whole just grey beard. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Because I'm not on this dyeing hair thing and all that. That's all mad. That's not for me. I'm more old school. We just have to let it fade naturally. Love for the love, people. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's been a good one. 1 hour, 14 minutes. It's 10:15 UK time. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Go over to the Big Six channel and watch those videos if you haven't already. Love for all the people in the comment section and whatnot. Love for everyone that's sent in the super chat. Love for everyone that supports the thing, even when I'm not doing these solo vids as much as you guys would like me to do. Trust me, I am going to come back more regular. Just trust me on that. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And I'm sure you guys will still be here supporting like you do for the Big Six and like you do for all my platforms on social media. Big up you guys. I'll be back Wednesday night, Big Six Live, 9 p.m. Make sure you guys are there for that. That's the next show, game week 31 preview. So look out for that, people. Love for the love. Tune in then. Peace.